Hello, I'm Miss Gull. It's November of 2020, and our school is closing because of the pandemic. In part to provide support to my students while we're going through all of this, and in part to provide a distraction for myself, I've decided to try creating videos of some of my lessons. So here is one of the very first things that I review with my students. Personal pronouns are words like me, I, us, you, him, her, it, they, and so on. Words that refer to a particular grammatical person, such as first person, second person, or third person. Don't worry about all of that. We'll get to it in another video. In English, the first person singular subject pronoun is I, and it is always capitalized. Always. Even if it's not in title. Even if it's not at the beginning of a sentence. Always. One of the reasons that I start with this rule is that it is super clear and there are no exceptions. None. Nope. Not at all. Most grammar rules come across more like guidelines, which can be confusing and frustrating. But in this case, it is delightfully consistent. The one thing that makes it a weensy bit more complicated is that I can be used in contractions. I'm for I am, I for I have, I'll for I will, and so on. You need to remember to capitalize I in these contractions because they still refer to that personal pronoun. Now, those aren't the only contractions that use the personal pronoun I, but they're the most common. And I found that when I tried to put more on the image, it looked kind of smushed, so those are the ones I went with. The key is to ask yourself whether the word can be split up and whether any of the components use that personal pronoun. Sometimes in student work, I can tell that they've been paying attention because they capitalize every word that begins with the letter I. And I really do appreciate the effort and the intent that shows. However, don't do that. Words like in, is, and it do not actually refer to the personal pronoun I, so they only get capitalized at the beginning of a sentence or in a title. Sometimes. We'll get to that in another video. So that's it for this lesson. Since this is my very first video, I would love to have your questions or your suggestions in the comments below. Please keep in mind that this is geared at students, so comments will be moderated, and I'm going to try to keep it PG-ish. And if you're a student of mine, current or former, whenever you happen to see this, I would love to hear from you. And I hope you're doing okay. Hopefully, it won't be too much longer until we can look back on this as an opportunity to be challenged in new ways and to learn from that challenge and to become better versions of ourselves. To make ourselves a little more like the kind of person we truly want to be. Because when we make ourselves better, we make the whole world better. Bye, everybody.